Welcome. You clicked on this video to learn. And boy, oh boy, am I the postman today because I am going to deliver. Let me take a sip of my tea, my English breakfast tea. Hope you guys are ready for a very great video. I am pumped to get this video out because I know it's going to help every single entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, business owner. Maybe you're even already at 100K a month. This is going to help you. The 5 steps to millionaire status. I'm basically going to be covering the 5 things that you need, things you need to implement, things you need to understand, philosophies, thought processes, the whole spiel to hitting 7 figures. Let's get into it. Lesson number 1 is success is not suffering, okay? Let me write this out. Success is not suffering. So, contrary to what most people say on the internet, especially entrepreneurs, like maybe Alex Hormozy is a great example. He often talks about you need to struggle, and that's how you succeed, and that's how you're going to make money. But wouldn't it be a lot better if you could become a millionaire and make a crap load of money without having to struggle? Of course, and that's what I'm going to cover right now. So at the end of the day, most people hear and listen to all these entrepreneurs. Now, of course, they're richer than them. Now, of course, obviously they have the authority monetary wise to listen to them, and they have the authority because they're richer, and you're going to listen to the advice they give. Now, no rich guys really came across in the space and said, you guys don't really have to struggle to make money. And that's the case. Wouldn't it be great to get rich by being happy and doing things out of pleasure, by things you want to do, not have to do, right? So success does not have to equal suffering, contrary to what a lot of people believe. The more money you make, you have to suffer more to get there. That's not the case, and I'll explain why. Most people tie, okay? So most people, we're gonna write this as a guy. Now, they tie their conscious to suffering. Now, they tie their subconscious to suffering because people in this space say so. And obviously they have the authority. So if they're an authority figure, then you kind of have to listen to them. But that's not the case because I didn't get successful by suffering. So at the end of the day, most people think that they have to suffer more. Let's just do this. Suffering. Most people think that they have to suffer more to make more money, which is not the case. Now, the reason why it's not the case is because it doesn't matter if you enjoy what you're doing or not. What matters is your perception on what you're doing and your perspective and your mental framing. Does that make sense? So the thing is that everyone talks about how you need to suffer more to make more. And, the more you go through struggles and pain, of course, pain is progress at the end of the day. And, getting rich, you will have to struggle. But in order to get rich, you don't need to force yourself to struggle. And most people attribute good things coming from hard work or bad things, and they attribute hard work to struggle. I wake up you think I'm recording this video because I have to? You could tell I'm in a great mood, and I'm enjoying the view. I wish you guys could see it. But at the end of the day, I'm not waking up every day working 12 hours a day, which I have been doing for the last 2 weeks straight. Barely been getting any sleep, and I've been hitting the gym. So at the end of the day, I'm not sitting here and attributing this, quote, hard work to struggle. See, hard work is required to be successful and make money, but hard work is hard. Hard does not mean suffer, and work does not mean suffer. The reason why is because most people's subconscious has been programmed to believe that labor and hard work, or the term work, has a negative or a suffering connotation towards it. Does that make sense? Work does not have to be hard. If you can enjoy your work and do things and set your environment to enjoy your work, you're going to work a lot more into and you're going to make a lot more money. So the whole idea that success comes from suffering and this and that, most people operate in a survival mode. I'm operating in a thrival mode. A thriving mode. You don't want to survive, you want to thrive. And that's when you're going to make the most money. Think about this. If you were making $10 million a year, let's say $12 million, $1 million a month, would you operate every single day in a suffer mindset? Now, of course, that's the goal. Everyone would like to make $1 million a month. It's going to take a lot of hard work. But at the end of the day, they're not waking up. Whoever's making $12 million a month, I mean, I wish I was, or $12 million a year, they're not waking up in that survival mode. Hence, this success requires suffering mindset. They're waking up every single day in a thriving mindset. They understand that, I enjoy what I do every single day, and I don't have to suffer to make money. So the whole idea, if you want to become a millionaire, the whole idea of, in order to be successful, I need to suffer. Get that out of your mind, okay? Now, you can make baby money with this mindset. Now, baby money, what I mean by baby money is 10, 20, 30K a month. That's okay. Like, and a lot of people might have been like, what are you talking about? That 30K a month, that's $1,000 a day. That's $365,000 a year. It's baby money. Did you know that the United States, they classify a small business as any business making less than $40 million a year? It's baby money. I'm gonna be honest. And if you think it's not, then your standards are way too low, okay? A lot of you guys set goals way too low. 30K a month is baby money. Now, this all comes down to your perception of reality, okay? So let me draw this out and put this into perspective. So let's say this guy over here, he is worth $1 million, okay? Now that's not you because you're watching this video, but this guy over here, he's sad and he is worth, let's just say 100 grand because he wants to get to $1 million, but he's not there. The thing is that your perception of reality is just as real as reality itself. So this guy perceives reality in a certain way. So in the middle ground, you have this barrier and this barrier is reality, okay? The only way you're going to make $1 million is if you perceive reality as it being possible to make $1 million. Now, most people have never seen $1 million, so it's very hard to conceive that and understand what $1 million a year looks like and what goes into it. But the thing is that most people's subconscious aren't trained to view reality as molding. Reality and your identity is it's raw potential. You can mold it like clay into whatever you want. Now, the guy who's stuck at $100,000 a year, $8,000 a month, he's not going to understand that. Now, he's stuck at $8,000 a month because he doesn't this is the suffering guy. This is Mr. Suffer, and this is Mr. Successful. $1 million a year, $100,000 a month, or $80,000 a month, this guy's crushing it. You think he wakes up every single day and his perception on reality is, I need to suffer? Whatever. Here's the thing. The reason why these two guys are in different positions in life is simply because they perceive reality in a different way. Does that make sense? So what I mean by that is your day-to-day actions and the results you have and the life you live is literally comes down to your perception of reality. These two people are in different positions in life because they view reality in a different way. So however you view reality, that is what your life is going to be. Let's move on to lesson 2. The next lesson that I want to cover and talk about is I would argue the second most important, okay? The second lesson, expectations. The reason why most people quit or get demotivated or get thrown off track when they're trying to scale, any founder, any business owner, the reason why they get thrown off track is because their expectations are wrong. Now, imagine how successful you would be if when it comes to, let's say you're trying to become an NBA player and you've been told all your life, oh, you can do anything you want, which is obviously a great belief, but like, yeah, go do the NBA, da-da-da. And then you don't work that hard and you don't outcompete everybody else ruthlessly, because that's what business is. But you probably wouldn't make it to the NBA because your expectations are wrong. Most people, they don't understand how business works. And even if you do hit 10, 20, 30K a month, you're not going to make the same amount of money forever. See, how business works is, if this is a graph for business, if this is how business works, now the more we go up, the more money we make, okay, as we've talked about. This is a graph for business. It's going to be nothing for 6 months, then it's going to take off out of nowhere. And you're going to be like, holy cow, I'm rich. This is going to be the best thing forever. I'm going to blow all my money and I'm going to spend it, and then it's going to slowly taper down. And you're going to say, we are so cooked. It is over. Then it's going to go, holy cow, we are so back. Then it's going to drop down again. Then it's going to go up and down and up and down. And that's how business is. Now, the reason why most people quit around AKA this part or this part. Now, 1. This is what I would label the gray area, okay? The gray area. Now, most people's perception on business is so skewed because of all the people online that are saying how easy business is. Okay, like I said, business is hard, making money is hard, but is it simple? Yes. And does hard mean suffering? No, it doesn't. Hard means you have to work hard. Working hard does not mean you have to suffer, okay? So this period right here represents the gray area, and this gray area is probably where a lot of you guys watching this video are at. Now, this gray area represents when you're not successful enough to hang out with the people you want to hang out with and get in those rooms that you want to get in and network with the people you want to network with, but you're still working on outgrowing your old friends. And that's where I was. I had no friends for around 7 months, and that's a pretty hard life to live, especially when you're working super hard every day trying to achieve a goal. So this gray area represents where most entrepreneurs quit. 90% of them quit here because they try for 6 months, and we're gonna talk about this in a little bit, but they try for 6 months and they don't have any results, which is the standard. That is the standard. Your guys' expectations are so wrong. 6 months and not making money is the standard. Now, the reason why most people quit here is simply because of their perception on reality and limiting beliefs. So they make, let's say, 10K in a month. They hit their first 10K in a month. And let's see, 10K. Okay, 10K a month. So they hit their first 10K in a month, and then it goes down. And that's just how business goes. Business oscillates. And we're going to get into business oscillation in a second and the actual expectations of the graph of everyone's psychology behind it. But people make, let's say, make 10K a month. It drops down. And let's say you make $300 the next month. Most people are gonna quit there because their expectations on business are so wrong. I'm gonna draw this out on a separate graph for you guys so you can properly understand how business works, okay? This graph to the left of me represents business. I know it looks like a squiggly line, but I'm gonna get to it after I take a drink of my tea. Refreshing and absolutely lovely. Okay, so most people start here, and then as they're coming up here, they get in a state of what I like to call uninformed optimism. Most people start here, they get to here after a couple weeks or a couple days of work, and they have what's called uninformed optimism. They are not informed enough to understand how business works, i.e. expectations, but they're so hyped to get started because all the gurus online are telling them, yes, this business is gonna work. This is gonna be the greatest thing ever. I'm gonna make so much money. Frick college, it's over. This is the new era of millionaire and wealth creation. And then they hit here, which is informed pessimism. Okay, so they're going up here. Oh my God, it's the greatest thing ever. Da, 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 da. They hit the plateau here, and then after 6 months, all right, just to clarify, the further we go here, that's time, okay? So the further we go down this graph, the more time is passing, just for context. So they hit up here, they're still hyped, and then all of a sudden, they've been trying for 4 months, 3 months, nothing's working. Now, obviously, every person in their psyche is a different threshold on how motivated they could be, but they hit down here, and they're like, I've tried everything. I've watched all the videos. It's not working. What is going on? This sucks. It doesn't work. I was lied to. And that's how most people quit, is right here, with the informed pessimism. And now you can either go down here and crash, or you can go here. And this represents informed optimism, okay? This dot right here represents informed optimism. Now, basically, like we said, the further we go along this graph, the more time passes by. So on this dot, this represents informed optimism. So essentially, you've understood the time frame on success. You've gone through the, oh my God, I'm gonna make so much money. Then you hit this crash and you're like, holy shit, I'm cooked, it's over, I'm gonna remain broke for the rest of my life. And you're going back up here, and essentially, this could either be the make or break, or it could be the key to success, AKA getting money, becoming a millionaire, whatever you want to say. So informed optimism is you understand a realistic time frame, you have realistic expectations on what business looks like, the time frame on how making money works, learning the skills, understanding the market, etc. And this informed optimism is going to take you to the fucking moon. That is how business works. Most people quit here, 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 and 1%, I guarantee you, 99% of business owners watching this video are not going to succeed. 1% of you guys are, because you're going to face this and you're going to go up. Every single problem is solved with time. So let me put this into perspective. Let's say your life is a movie, right? Now, each one of these pinpoints and graph lines represents the start and the end of the movie. So let's say we're going to do here, here, here. This is a good event. This is a bad event. This is a good event. And then this can be a bad event. So your life, effectively, is a movie. Now, the movie's ending is dictated on when you pause it or when you turn the TV off, okay? So essentially, things are only good or bad in the time frame or the time horizon in which you view it in. So good, let's say, boom, you make 10K a month, you're hitting your goals, you're crushing it right now, and your mom's so proud of you, and your dad finally gave you a hug after 5 years of getting the milk, right? Then the bad is going broke. And the bad is going broke. And then obviously, oh my God, I have to go get a job. Don't say the J word around me. I have to go get a job. It's the worst thing ever. I'm cooked. Then the good is making 100K and being all happy. 100K a month, everyone's happy, your mom's proud, you bought your mom a car maybe. And then the bad is you getting sued and losing our money, going broke again. I know these are extremes, but let's say you ended here. Good ending here, bad ending here, good ending here, bad ending. Time is the best healer. You guys don't give it enough time. Whatever you guys are doing, you need to understand that time is the most important variable. If you're testing new landers, if you're testing a new funnel, if you're testing new copy or ads or campaigns or videos, time will tell. Now, obviously, this is very dependent on the business you're doing, but you cannot dictate whether a problem is good or bad because you're choosing to view it on this point of the movie. You guys don't understand the full scope of the movie that you're living called life. So how can you choose and say, oh, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me? It's a shame when you haven't lived life out. Now, if you were able to, imagine this, to put it into perspective, imagine if you were able to sit here from a third party and extract your mind, astral projection out from the spaces of the universe and look at every single major event in your life. You would probably realize whatever problem you're facing now is fine. In 4 months, it'll be fine. In 6 months, you'll forget about it, and in a year, it will never cross your mind for the rest of the time that you're walking on the planet. Your life is a movie. You need to understand that whichever frame or whichever scene you pause it on, whichever chapter you pause it on, which is unrealistic because you can't pause life, you're choosing to view whatever problem or whatever situation, good or bad, in that way. Understand that time is the most important variable, and you're fine, dude. A lot of people have really false expectations in this online money space of you need to get rich ASAP. If you don't have a car at 18, or if you don't have a Lambo at 18, you're a failure, which is very wrong. Now, the thing is, the reason why I don't post Lambos and Ferraris and yachts with a bunch of women and all this extra stuff is because of one reason. One, it's not very valuable, and I don't want to be known for being a rich guy who goes around with a bunch of paid women. And number two is because it lowers people's self-worth. So if you're watching, let's say, Mr. Lambo guy here, we're going to write Lambo guy. This is Lambo guy. We'll put some shades on him because he's cool. Now, the problem is you're probably watching Mr. Lambo guy here, flexing a bunch of cash, being all happy, and you're thinking that just because Mr. Lambo guy's happy and has a Lambo, that you're a failure, that you're losing. Just because somebody else is winning doesn't mean that you're losing. And your subconscious is getting completely ruined by watching these lifestyle people in the online money space on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it may be. And the reason that is because of one thing: comparison in turn lowers frequency. Comparison lowers your frequency. Comparing yourself to Mr. Lambo guy, thinking that because he's winning and you're losing, it will in turn lower your frequency, which will keep you broke. And that's the biggest problem. It lowers your self-worth. And when you don't think you're worth or deserving of the goals that you want to hit, then you will not hit them. So I highly suggest everyone, if you're thinking of a Lambo guy in your head, you're like, oh yeah, think of a Lambo guy right now. 3, 2, 1, go. Who do you have in your head? Unfollow that person. Right now. It is destroying your subconscious. The third lesson of today's video is growth. Now, at the end of the day, I've said this prior, but business is the perfect vehicle for self-development because when you grow, your business grows. And when your business grows, you're allowed and you have the accessibility and the capability to grow yourself. So your personal development is in direct correlation with your business growth. So you have two realms, yourself and let's say your business, because your business is an entity, it is an organism, it is a living being with systems and working cogs in the machine. Now, when you grow yourself, your business will grow. And the big thing that I haven't talked about on this channel before, but the founder sets the ceiling, okay? So the founder sets the ceiling. Your business can only grow as quick as you grow. Your business can only grow in accordance to the founder's self-development. Does that make sense? And that's the biggest thing that people don't understand. If your business is not growing, that's because you yourself have plateaued as a person. The more you learn, the more you learn, the more you earn. It's true, and people say it for a reason, okay? Your business is not growing, or maybe it hasn't even taken off yet, or it's plateaued. And plateau is not good. Plateau is just a term for slow growth or slow death. That's a fact, okay? The founder and the CEO, whatever you want to say, the founder sets the ceiling for the business. And if the founder is not growing as a human with experiences and knowledge and reading books and doing new things and progressively learning and evolving, the business cannot progressively learn and evolve. Does that make sense? So the biggest thing is understanding your growth. And the biggest problem that a lot of people face is they have the sense of ego to where they aren't accountable. So the one thing that is probably going to cap your growth is one thing, and that's your ego. Because you can't sit there and be accountable with yourself and say, you know what? My business is not growing because I'm a fucking retard. Okay? My business is not growing because I'm retarded and I'm stupid and I'm not learning enough. I put a conscious effort into learning everything about everything. And that's why my business has been growing like crazy, because my self-development, I'm sure as you guys have seen in these videos, my self-development has been wild over the last couple months, especially this year. I've traveled to 14 different countries and I've taken 42 flights or something like that. My growth has been crazy this year, which is why I've made more money than I ever have in my entire life in the last 3 months. The last 3 months, I've made more money than the rest of the year. That's because I optimized everything in my life for personal and self-development. So the biggest thing is that I'm gonna be very harsh here. If nothing is working, then you're the variable. The harsh reality is that you just fucking suck, man. And I'm sorry. A lot of people don't wanna hear that, but it's the truth about business. The harsh truth on why you're not rich is because you just suck. And that's the hardest pill to swallow. Is I'm not making $500,000 a month because I suck and I don't know how to make $500,000 a month. But if I optimize my self-development and my growth, I'm going to get there. And if I focus on that more and more every single day, I'm going to get there quicker and quicker. The reality is, guys, is you just suck. The reason you're not making 50K a month or 10K a month or 40, 30K a month is because you don't know how to do it and you're not skillful enough to do it. If nothing is working in what you're trying, then you are the variable. Such a beautiful day today. Lesson number 4, your mental filter. You need to understand how to ideate problem solving and approach certain problems through first principles, which is what I'm going to cover now. So let's say your problem right now is no one is buying what you're selling, okay? So no sales, sad face, because that's a problem. So let's say the problem that you're facing is no sales. Now, with problem, that equals chaos. And of course, you don't want chaos in a business. That's the one thing that's going to kill your business, right? So your problem is no sales. And that problem is going to cause chaos. Now look, you're a competent person, right? You're going to go in this pool of chaos and say, oh, maybe it's a funnel thing. Maybe it's our lender. Maybe our product is wrong. Maybe you have to switch the branding. Hey, maybe a new website is going to make us more money. And through that chaos, you will put so much time, effort, and mental real estate and mental energy and excess potential towards things that are not needle pushing and making you more money. So the way that you filter things is through one thing, and that is first principles. How you make decisions in your business is going to dictate how much money you make and how much you scale. So first principles is basically taking a problem, identifying its compound core fundamentals and every core fundamental of the business, analyzing all the data, and then being able to make the decision. So the big thing is the more information you have, then the more educated decision you're able to make. Okay, most people think that it takes time to make a decision in business, but that's not the case. It takes information to make a decision. So if you have the information to make a decision, then you must make it. For example, let's say this guy down here is jumping on a cliff, right? He's gonna go jumping off a rock and he's all hyped up, right? Now this guy down here, he can see the bottom, but he doesn't know if there's any rocks at the bottom, right? So this guy right here, let's say he were to jump without checking anything. That's an uninformed decision. And he doesn't know that there's rocks in the bottom of the water. So he's gonna jump in there and he's gonna break both of his legs and he's gonna roll around in a wheelchair and quahog saying, "Hey Peter," all day because he's handicapped. So the way that you make a decision is by analyzing the data, testing stuff, and then you have the information to make it. So if I was this guy, I would come down here, maybe I'd throw a rock off the edge and see how long it would take to get to the bottom. Maybe I'd walk down here first and poke a stick in the water until it hits the bottom and see how far on that long stick the water rose to. Does that make sense? So it doesn't take time to make decisions. This guy can sit up here as long as he wants. He can look at the water, he can look at the view, he can sit there and think. Doesn't matter, because he can't see what's in the water. So until he goes and figures out what's in the water, then he can make an informed decision to jump or not. And that's how most of you guys are looking at it. Most of you guys are just jumping in the fucking lake. Most of you guys are just jumping off this cliff, and now you're handicapped. You have to make informed decisions. And the way you make an informed decision is by 1, getting all the data, 2, breaking your problem down to first principles, and 3, solving it. So going back to the original or the origin of your problem, which is no sales, if you're gonna break this down for first principles, okay, it can't be a product issue, it can't be an offer issue because our conversion rate is high. Oh, it can't be a creative issue because our views to website sessions ratio is still the same. So let's think here. It's not a creative issue, it's not a product issue, it's not a website issue, it's not an offer issue. It has to be a traffic issue. So you just break everything down to its core fundamentals and then you solve it. I did that today with my business partner. We hopped on a call. We were tracking all of our data and we were like, wait, why is this not like this? And oh, it's because, and then we basically just laid all the numbers out in front of us and we're like, what is the fucking problem? And then we attacked it. And that's what you guys need to do. That's how you make proper decisions and filter information. Lesson number 5 is focus, okay? The whole idea that a millionaire has 7 streams of income is false. It is complete horseshit. Do you think, okay, let's say a millionaire, he makes $80,000 a month. Let's just say he has 8 sources of income. What the fuck is he gonna, like, what 8 sources of income are you making $1 million a year on? Let's say you're making 80 something grand a month. Oh, 10K is coming from my dropshipping store, 10K a month is coming from my Airbnb business, 10K a month is coming from my stock portfolio, 10K a month is coming from crypto, and 10K a month is coming from my dog walking business, and 10K a month is coming from my vending machines, and 10K a month is coming from my AI agency. What? With all the work and upkeep, you could just make 100, 200 grand from one business. Whoever the fuck told you guys that a millionaire with 7 streams of income is probably poor. If I'm being honest, they're probably a fucking broke person. So to put this into perspective, I'm gonna draw, oh my God, he drew another 2 lines. He's giving us another graph. Damn fucking straight. Okay, I'm just joking with you guys. I'm gonna take a sip of my tea before I get into it. Nothing beats a good old cup of tea, bruv. So, anyways, I'm messing around. We're locked in again. So let me draw this and put this into perspective. How many times is he gonna say put it into perspective? Every fucking time. Because his whole channel is putting shit into perspective. If you don't like it, click off the fucking video. I'm joking, guys. I'm sorry to get hostile. I hit the camera. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get back to it. Let's lock in. No funny business, no shenanigans, no tomfoolery, no jokes. Okay, so here is 3 separate lines, and here is the final line. So each of these lines represents how long you're starting a business. Let's say 2 months, let's say 4 months, let's say 6 months, and let's say here is 2 years. So up here is 2 years. Now, the more we go up on this graph, the more money you're going to make. Now, the problem is most of you guys are going to quit maybe one time on business, on one business, then you're gonna quit in 2 months, then on business 2, you're gonna quit 4 months in, then you're gonna try business number 3, and then you're gonna quit 2 months in, then you're gonna try business number 4, and you're gonna quit 6 months in, then you're gonna try business number 5, and you're gonna quit 4 months in, and now you have probably collectively 20 months of business, or 15 months of business, in 5 different business models, and who the fuck cares? If you have, oh, well, I've done a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of... No one cares if you've done a little bit of this or a little bit of fucking that. I want a guy who's done fucking everything of one thing. I want the guy who's done that. I want a guy who's done a lot of that shit. You see what I'm saying? Nobody wants... no one who's ever going to make money has done a little bit of this and a little bit of that. In history, no one has ever gotten rich doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's the stupidest shit. You stick to one thing for 2 years and you will get rich as fuck. You will have so much money it feels illegal, okay? So the biggest problem is that most people quit and they're lily padding to a bunch of other business models. Now, the big thing is the further we go on, of course, the more knowledge you have. More knowledge. Here's my Lamborghini in my garage here. The further we go down this graph, the more knowledge you're going to have. So your income is capped in accordance to the complexity of problems that you can solve. If you can solve a $100,000 a month problem, you're going to be paid in accordance to the complexity and value of the solution. Does that make sense? So you stick to something for longer, you get more knowledge, aka you have more understanding of the problem that you're solving. Then you stick for it longer, you have more knowledge, you make more money because you can solve the problem better in a quicker amount of time. Does that make sense? And that is the end of the video. If you want to work one-on-one with me, if you don't make money, we are legally obligated to give you a 100% refund. You get 2 weekly coaching calls with me, you get 24/7 DM access to me, 300 plus hours of course material, over 100 other people. We probably have the greatest community on the planet. We have culture, which is something that I'm super happy about. You can click the first link in the description, watch the video, and apply for completely free. Subscribe if you found it valuable. Thank you. Take care. Stay blessed.